Hi everyone, my name's Elise Gonzalez and I'm a product manager here with Databricks on our agent platform called Agentbricks. I'm really excited to talk to you today about building governed production AI with MCP on Databricks. If you aren't familiar, Databricks is the data intelligence platform. We started out by inventing Spark and being a platform where people could run Spark at scale, but we've now really grown into a number of different areas, including data warehousing and our agent and AI platform, so that people can use their governed data on Databricks to build production-grade AI. For our agenda, what we'll cover today is we'll start by talking about the governance challenge, which is really one of the biggest challenges that enterprises face when they're looking to put AI into production. We'll then talk about what Databricks offers, and then finally we'll talk about how to leverage MCP in agentic workflows and a demo of that in Databricks. When we think about the agent governance challenge, we really think about a number of components here. So we've really prided ourselves on providing a platform for data governance for many enterprises across the world, where they can put all of their data, make sure it's secure, make sure the right people have access to it. But how do you start to do that as well when you start to think about agents and all of the components that agents need to leverage? We're really finding three key challenges here. The first is that MCP servers are the new thing that everyone wants, but we are finding teams are duplicating efforts. And so that means that there may be two teams who are actually building the same set of tools, the same set of MCP servers. And so they're repeating work and they're not finding this sort of shareability and discoverability across their company. The second challenge here is that teams build MCP servers, but they don't have any common auth, they don't have any centralized permissions. And so this can inadvertently open your company up to not following your security policies, and can be a really big challenge when you're actually trying to build MCP and build agents, is how do you actually follow, what auth model do you follow, and what permissions do you use? The final piece is that MCP servers are often gateways to extremely sensitive information. And so we are finding there are a number of companies that are reticent to deploy them because they aren't sure how to secure them, how to make sure they're following all of their best practices. And so this is really where we want to help. And where we've been able to have customers be able to start using MCP in production is by providing a governed, centralized platform for discovery, but also for solving permissions, authentication, all of those things. And so this does really create some risks. And so if you have scattered MCP servers or sort of all across the enterprise, there's not really a central repository of them. You have a number of mixed identities in here. That could mean you have exposed data assets and you have unchecked permissions. And so all of this is really a nightmare to enterprises that are looking to deploy agents and really have their workforce start to use them and start to use AI at scale, is they need to be able to solve all of these together. And so all of this creates ungoverned flow of data. And so ultimately that's what we're looking to solve and what we're helping a number of companies all across the world solve today. And so all of this starts with our Unity catalog. Unity catalog is a single governance solution for data and AI assets on the Lakehouse. So not only do we govern tables and I would say traditional data, we can also govern MCP servers, we can govern models, we can also govern things like skills and agents. And so this gives you unified visibility into data and AI, a single permission model for data and AI, and also still enables open sharing. So Unity Catalog is open source, and we do also have Delta sharing and other components that people can use to share these across their organization. And so we have a number of pieces here that support MCP behind Unity Catalog. And so you can build managed MCP servers for UC tools, vector search, or Genie rooms. So these are all servers that we provide out of the box once you've built these on Databricks. You can also host custom MCP servers through our Databricks Apps product. And then you can register external MCP servers in Unity Catalog and install them from our marketplace that hosts MCP servers as well. So this really gives you broad discoverability of all of these servers, as well as the ability to govern who has access to them and ensure that your permissions are maintained throughout. What I'll start by talking about here is our first-party MCP servers for Unity Catalog data. So we have a number of different managed or first-party servers that we offer out of the box for our customers. And all of these have on behalf of user auth enforced out of the box. So any permissions that you put in Unity Catalog, we can continue to maintain. We have Genie, which is our natural language SQL agent. And so this lets you build text to SQL agents that can operate over your data and answer questions for your users. We also have vector search, and so this is for querying unstructured data for document retrieval at high scale. We have UC functions, which are really known queries or tools inside of Databricks, provides access to data quickly. And then we also have an MCP server for our DBSQL product, which is really great for testing SQL queries and for development inside of an IDE. All of this then comes together in our MCP catalog. So you're able to both host and leverage external MCP servers, host custom ones with our apps product, or leverage any of our first-party MCP servers and see them all in one place. So this lets you really standardize tools and govern and deploy them. So it provides that discoverability surface so your users can actually see all of the tools and servers that are available to them. Still provides governance at a number of different layers. Again, we maintain on behalf of user auth for you, but we can also pass that through to a third party, which I'll show you an example of later. We also perform authorization, so platform admins want to log which users have done what. They also want to maintain those permissions throughout. And then you can also organize them and make sure that as they're in their catalog, you actually have that natural sort of grouping mechanism. And so when we think about our MCP architecture here, there are a number of different components. So we do actually have a Databricks Managed MCP proxy here in the middle. And this is what all of our MCP servers connect through. So all of the first-party managed ones that I just mentioned, as well as any external servers. So we're able to proxy that connection to either that third party or to our own first party servers. And then you can actually leverage them inside of Databricks. So if you're building agents inside, or externally as well. So if you wanted to leverage one inside of an IDE or you're building agents elsewhere, you can still use this as your MCP backbone. Finally, the last thing I'll talk about here is we do have MCP in our Databricks marketplace. And so this lets you share MCP servers and unlock AI use cases. And so we have a number of different providers that have listed their servers in our marketplace, which I'll actually show you a demo of here in a second. So I'm going to start by jumping into the Databricks product here. If you haven't seen it before, this is our workspace. So I'm going to start by going down here to our Agents tab. That's where you'll find both agents and MCP servers. And so right here, I can see all of the MCP servers that are available to me. So this is my MCP catalog. I can also see a number of different marketplace providers. So this is just a short selection of some of them that we have available. But if I did hit see more here, I could also see all of the listings that we have. And so this makes it really easy to install them, to make sure it's actually from the person that you think it is, and really makes that setup really easy. I can also see all of the ones that I have provided to me. So again, I have external ones, I have custom MCP servers that I'm hosting, and then I have the 4 that Databricks provides for you out of the box. And so if I did want to test one of these, so let's say I wanted to look at all of my Genie spaces, I can see that there are a number of these created both by me and by others in my organization. If I were to click on one of these, I can actually see the tools that are offered to me. So you can see, again, we're proxying that connection for you. You just have to copy that URL and then log in, and you can start to use it. And then here are my tools. So this is all provided out of the box for me. So I didn't have to set any of this up. And so this also pulls in the description from my Genie space to give the LLM more context as it's using this MCP server. So let's hit try in Playground. And so jump in. And so I can see here that I have my finance Genie space in here. And since I did create this one, I know how to ask a question of it. So what is the performance of all my candies? So this is my fake AI candy company. And so I have a number of different candies that I'm offering. And so this has my finance and P&L information. And so you can see it's issued that query to that Genie space. It's thinking. And so we'll get an answer here in a second. And so the query is still processing. And so it's able to then use that pull response tool that I showed you. And so we can start to pull that response. We can see the conversation ID. And then we can actually see it came back with a select statement. So it actually gave me that text to SQL answer. Came back with a bunch of information. I can see all of this sort of nitty-gritty details, but then I can also see this overview here where I can see all of the different candies that I offer, as well as their cases sold, net sales, etc. So it's able to just pick up those tools naturally right out of the box. So now, going back, I'm going to talk next about hosting custom MCP servers with Databricks apps and how easy this is actually to get stood up. So just like I showed you before, our overall MCP architecture, if you are using a custom MCP server, again, you can use that with our agent platform. So if you wanted to build and deploy on Databricks, you can do that. You can also use any MCP server inside of another app, so you can start to build them together. But you can also connect them externally. So if you do want to use them inside of an IDE, you absolutely still can do that. What's really nice here is that you can securely host these and get built-in authentication, built-in permissions, and again, that governance model all for you. And so we do have a number of companies where maybe they don't already have OAuth built into their service. And so they are using this to be able to really bootstrap that OAuth sort of backbone for them while still calling their own internal APIs, all through the security of the Databricks platform. We also can take an open API spec and actually turn that into an MCP server for you super easily. So I'm actually going to do that for you next. So what I'm going to do is the weather.gov API is open, really easy to use. So you can see that it has a number of APIs in here. I also have the open API spec. And so that's actually all you need to get started. And so I've gone ahead and uploaded that into Databricks here. So just into my catalog, into a volume. So I can see I have my spec.json, and I can see that I have weather.gov API. And so that's really all I need to get started when I want to host an MCP server with Databricks. And so all I need to do is go here into Databricks under Compute and Apps. And if I hit Create App, we have a number of templates provided out of the box for you. And so under agents, I have a number of options in here. And so I can just start with a Hello World MCP server to show me how to use it, or I can do an open API spec. And if I am to do that, all I need to do is select that volume that I had where I uploaded my spec.json. All I can do is hit next, and then it'll actually just install it for me. Luckily, I actually did this right before we got started here just to sort of expedite my demo here. So you can see I have my MCP server weather spec, it's running. And so what I can do is jump into our playground experience. So just like I showed you before, I have my MCP server weather spec here selected. So then I can say list the tools. And so it'll reach out to my brand new app here, and it'll start to actually list all of the API endpoints. So I can see alerts, I can see active alerts, active types of alerts. And so there are a number of different APIs available to me, all just because I uploaded that API spec in here. So made it super, super easy to get started with MCP, still governed and backed by OAuth and all of the permissions in your organization. So the last thing I'm going to talk about is connecting MCP to agentic workflows and our ability to actually reach out and proxy that connection for external MCP servers as well. So what we are finding is that enterprises are still facing a critical challenge is as they're enabling AI agents to securely interact with private data at scale. And so they really want to be able to bridge that gap between powerful AI agents, but still maintaining security governance at the scale that they're looking to operate at. And so this is really where Databricks comes into play. So we're able to have an orchestration agent that combines all of your data, your LLM, your tools, and your skills, and then your MCP server. And so it can run on behalf of the user, but it can as well run on its own agent identity. So it's really flexible to your specific use case here. And so in the next example I'm going to show you is I'm going to jump back into our playground experience. And so from our catalog, I've gone ahead and chosen, I have a GitHub MCP server here, and then I actually have another tool. I have my Python executor tool. And so the first thing I'm going to ask is, who am I? So I'm going to check who am I logged in as on GitHub. I want to make sure it's my identity because I'm going to be making some changes to a repo I have here. And so you can see it's actually logged in as me. And so we are proxying that connection. And so I'm able to do some lightweight prototyping actually directly in our playground experience, still backed by Unity Catalog. And so what I'm going to ask here is I'm going to ask, in my Python calculator repo, I don't have an add function. Can you create one for me with the Python tool and then create a PR for it? So what it's going to do is using that built-in Unity Catalog function we have for Python executors, as well as that GitHub connection where it's actually logged in as me, it's going to reach out. It's going to look at that Python calculator repo that we have available, start to read it and get file contents. And then it's going to use, again, that built-in Python executor still inside of a sandbox, test that out, make sure that the code works. And then it'll actually then create a PR for me here in a second. So once it's done thinking, amazing. So it's testing the add function. So it actually tested a number of combinations, just basic addition, as well as some decimals and some negative numbers to make sure it got everything correct. It's also listing the branches. So there are a couple of branches open, and then it's going to create another branch for me, and then create or update file, and then create a pull request. And so we can actually look here. And so it created the third pull request here in my repo. Let's actually open that up and look, make sure. Amazing. Okay, so we can see this was created as me. So again, I was logged in through that connection. And then I can see the files change. So I can see it added a quick add here, and then it just slotted it really nicely into this file. And so if I wanted to review this, I could. But again, this shows you that it's really quick to start prototyping. And then I could even start to get code. I could export it to a Databricks app and start to build my agent that way after I've already been able to prototype everything and make sure all my permissions work. So this really shows you the full breadth of the Databricks platform and how we are enabling you to build with MCP at scale, still with governance in mind, and still get that speed that agents have promised to us. So I want to say thank you. Thank you for taking all the time today. I hope that you learned something new about Databricks and the Databricks platform. If you want to learn more, there's a tiny URL here to take you to our doc site to get started. So thank you very much.